Hi guys, it's only one day until the Oscars, so it's about time I ranked the nominations for Best International Feature Film from my least favourite to my favourite. This is in no way a prediction of who's going to win the award. You can find that in my other video on this topic. So let's kick off. At number 5, and my least favourite of the nominations, is Emilia Perez of France. When I saw this in the cinema, I quite enjoyed it and became surprisingly captivated despite its bombastic and chaotic approach to storytelling. While I did enjoy it, it has lost its impact since I saw it, plus the numerous controversies about it has slightly soured it for me, and therefore I would rank it as my fifth favourite out of the 5 nominations. At number 4 is the animation Flow. Latvia's first ever Oscar nomination, plus a film that is also nominated for Best Animation, is at number 4, and this is purely because I'm not as keen on animation as your regular feature film. This is very much a 4-star movie for me because it is one of the better animations I've seen in recent years. It is really creative and inventive for such a low-budget animation, which has managed to have such huge success, mainstream appeal, and huge stardom now in Latvia in particular, changing the face of Latvian cinema. But I just don't have as much emotional investment in animation films per se, and therefore I'm going to put Flow at number 4. At number 3 is the potential winner, I'm Still Here for Brazil. Its late surge in the Oscar campaign season, plus a Golden Globe Best Actress Award for Fernanda Torres' remarkable performance, sees this as a late contender to win Best International Feature Film Oscar. And I think it's a really successful film that manages to tell such an important national story, which creates this sense of Brazilian identity. And while I really enjoyed it and gave it 4 stars, it's not necessarily a film I would go and watch again. It's a remarkable performance. It's a very measured performance. And it's also a good film, which is really solid in its storytelling of Brazilian national history. I would therefore put I'm Still Here from Brazil at number 3. And at number 2 is The Seed of the Sacred Fig for Germany. This is a remarkable film when you consider how it was made. The idea that the director had to leave the country by foot and smuggle the film out, filming in secret, putting the lives of the actors involved at risk. And also the integration of actual footage of the headscarf protests the many brave women in the streets of Tehran did to protest against the inequality and oppression of the Iranian regime. However, this did not make my number 1, and this is in part because of the fact it's quite conventional storytelling. If you strip away the remarkable story of how it was made, and if you remove perhaps the real-life footage, it feels rather conventional, really enjoyable, and it becomes a great thriller. However, it's not elevated enough to make it to my number 1. So which film made my number 1? My number 1 would be The Girl with the Needle from Denmark. Now, I have to be honest, it's probably the outsider of the category, and it has almost zero chance to win, but it's such a harrowing film, beautifully told, with this sort of remarkable pivoting of characters, which if you go in completely blind to the story, it is really, really good. There is remarkable performances, and I would have given the lead actresses Best Actress nominations because they were both so brilliant. And the cinematography uses this black and white to create this atmospheric mode, a bit like the Hungarian director Béla Tarr, utilising the actual Polish streets to tell this historic Danish story. For me, this is the only submission for Best International Feature Film that I think is elevated enough to be my favourite. I gave it 4.5 stars out of 5, and I think it's the only submission that I think would be the one that stays with me, that I would watch again, and I think is the closest to being a real classic in what has been a relatively weaker year compared to most Oscars years. I will be honest, I don't think The Girl with the Needle has a single chance of winning the Oscar, and it's a great achievement for it to get a nomination, considering the dark and harrowing tone of the film. And we all know it's going to be a 2-horse race between France's Emilia Perez and Brazil's I'm Still Here, which is the first time, I think, for many years that the Best International Feature Film is not a foregone conclusion. So regardless of what happens at the Oscars, what is your favourite of the nominations for Best International Feature Film? Is it Emilia Perez? Is it I'm Still Here? Or one of the other films really capture your imagination? Put in the comments below.